Okay, second principle. It's about eating, our diet, and conserving energy via our digestion. You heard that term, like you are what you eat? It's true. And you know what? I thought of, like growing up, they'd have this saying, if they were messing with you, they'd say you're shit for brains. Now, I thought about that later in life. I'm like, actually, this means something. So they tell you, like the Muslims know, like don't eat pork, don't eat pig. Why? Because the pigs eat their own feces. Okay, what we eat becomes our body. This is what makes everything and keeps it going. It becomes our body, our glands, endocrine glands, all of our bodily systems, heart, everything. And the subtle essence of the food, or the vibration of the food, becomes it becomes like a part of our mind. It actually shapes our mind, and then that translates into certain tendencies we have, whether they be positive or negative, is because of the food we eat. So if we're eating pig and pigs eat their own feces, right, it becomes part of our mind. So then you say you're shit for brains. Thought about that. So like I said, the food that we eat, it's gonna determine the to a large degree our skin quality. It's just everything: heart quality, nervous system quality, muscles, bones, everything. And the endocrine glands. You see, the endocrine glands. Nobody knows about those. Like doctors don't know. Nobody knows. We really don't know about anything. But the endocrine glands, super important. That's what causes our body to make steroids and hormones, and those secretions, or that chemistry, that's what shapes our emotions. That's responsible for like the emotional experience we're having a lot of times, and it also determines our ability to handle stress. You see, so the vibration of the food, the frequency of the food, this is what's most important. It's not the calories and that's like low level thinking. I'm gonna eat, I need 2,000 calories. Okay, as long as I get those 2,000 calories, I'm gonna be good. It's like, it's just meaningless. If I follow that thought system, then when I was doing coconut fasting, I was making coconut milk because I like living in places where I can get fresh coconuts. So they have those in Asia and South America, and that's where I live, So I would buy like 15 a day, and I would just make all this coconut milk. You know how much fat, if you measure that in grams or calories, I was consuming like way over 1,000 grams of fat. So then I should be blowed up, right? No, I was actually losing weight. So it's a very limited way of thinking if you're only focused on surface level of things, of anything. But we're talking about food now. That's okay. Like, we can't help it. Like, consciousness is evolving. Later, maybe in 100 years, this whole food pyramid and calorie count and protein count and fat count, like that's going to be old news, Like just look in history, how many things are old news? I don't know. Bloodletting, remember that? If you have an illness or something, they're going to cut you and make you bleed because that's going to bleed out your illness. This was their thinking. You can Google it. They don't do that anymore. Why? They advanced. Evolved. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with this. But consciousness finds a way, the universe finds a way to interject kind of higher level thinking, even when the collective mindset isn't there yet. Because there's individuals that somehow intuitively know this, and but they need to hear it, because it's like the knowledge is like, it's not activated in them. When we eat for vibration and frequency, this is what the nervous system lives off of, and the nervous system controls everything. Now, If you put like some nice, fresh, organic heirloom fruit on the table, and then you put a dead piece of meat, even if you're a little sensitive, you're going to feel the difference. You're like, whoa, this is actually, this fruit has some, it's vibing, has some energy. It's like alive. The dead animal looks dead, right? Because it's dead. I'm not getting into dogmatic things, though. I'm not saying like, oh, if you eat meat, you're stupid. No, I'm not saying that. If you do eat meat, I'll just say this real quick. Fish is the best, chicken, turkey second, beef, you're getting into hard things to digest now, and pork's the worst. It's the hardest to digest. The beef and pork, it's like the DNA, it's just more complex. It's a higher evolved being. Try to eat a human being. See how hard that is to digest. I don't know, I don't have experience, but I assume. So you want to eat things because what's the point of the video? Eating to conserve energy. If we're eating heavy, hard to digest stuff, we're going to be losing energy, which is going to affect our spiritual practice, because the spiritual practice means our lower self is being transformed or absorbed in our higher nature. That requires energy because it's a messy process. Because these lower tendencies and habits we have and unconsciousness and conditioning and identity, all that, it starts to, when we're on the spiritual transformation cycle, that stuff, when that's being dissolved, like, it doesn't want to be dissolved. It's going to fight to stay alive. Hence, we need energy for this transformational process. That's why I'm saying, preserve your semen, and then look at your diet and conserve your energy that way. I want to throw this in here because I'm not hating on the meat eaters. I would eat meat if I had to. Like if I'm at the airport and I'm going somewhere and it's a long travel and I'm hungry and there's nothing, like, I need to eat, right? And the only restaurant, let's say I'm pressed for time, the plane's gonna leave. I need something to eat, and all I can find is places with meat. Well, I would try to get fish or sushi or something. Next, if they didn't have that, okay, I would eat some chicken and rice and vegetables, whatever. Even if I'm not in an emergency situation, but there was some tendency or urge for some reason to eat meat, and I was in some, if life presents that situation, I'm not like no, The reason I do what I do with this diet is because it works best for me. Now, I have a sensitive nervous system, and I have problems, chronic, you can say degeneration in my cervical spine. So I've found when I'm super hydrated and alkalized, then it's like the inflammation gets washed out better. I have less pain, less tightness, less, everything's flowing like a river. And I have more energy because I've discovered when I eat meat, it makes me a little dull. I get a little tired. And then my symptoms get worse because it's hard to digest. If you have a good genetic constitution and you don't have many health symptoms and you're blessed in that karmic arena, well, then you're not gonna experience that. So then you're gonna say, like, what are they talking about? I eat meat and I'm fine. Yeah, man, that's your individual situation. You see? So I'm not like putting this on saying all 8 billion people should follow what I'm doing, and that you can't become more awake and alive to your spiritual nature if you eat meat. I'm not saying that. So don't say I'm saying that, because I didn't say it. But those who resonate with this message, then there you go. I'm sharing this. You can feel if it resonates. If it doesn't, it's no problem. You can watch. Maybe I have other videos that you do resonate with, or maybe the whole channel you don't like. Okay. Millions of YouTube channels out there. I don't know how many good ones, but there's a lot out there. So vibration and frequency. When our body, remember, the food affects everything. Physical body, emotional body, mental body affects everything. When you eat high vibration, high frequency, then your physical body, emotional body, mental body, mind, it's going to be higher frequency. Higher frequency has a certain package that comes with it. Higher frequency on your physical body means you're gonna have more energy, you're gonna feel better, your muscles and bones aren't gonna ache, you're gonna feel a more semblance of balance in this physical body. Just to make things short, You can go on and on. Emotional. When your emotional body's higher frequency, your feelings are going to be higher. You're going to have more compassion for people. If they do something to you you don't like, you're not going to be ready to fight them. You're going to be more chill. You have tolerance. You have more patience. You feel more joy, more balance. Okay? Higher package, higher frequency. When your mind has a higher frequency, your thoughts, they're going to be shaped different. You're just going to be thinking more positive. You're not going to be trying to think positive. If you don't have any energy, these positive affirmation classes, they're just not going to work. The positive is organic. It comes naturally when there's a sense of balance. You just see things positive. So the higher frequency benefits when it affects your mind is your thoughts are higher and more positive. Your perception of things is more higher. Somebody else will be looking at something and be talking negative about it, but you'll see it from a higher vantage point. Not such a narrow, selfish way. It's automatic. There's a shift in your consciousness. Your consciousness is higher. So don't just eat for vibration and frequency, eat for consciousness. That's what we are. The higher level of consciousness, things that we consume, then we're gonna, it's gonna elevate our consciousness. Ayurveda. I made a video on that. You can search it. You can just type Ayurveda in the search box on this channel, and I talk about doshas. I'm not going to get too deep into that because we're already almost at 12 minutes, but Ayurveda is an ancient healing science that India, the yogis and rishis discovered who knows how long ago. I like India's healing science and China. Their healing, the traditional Chinese medicine, because these are the most oldest ancient cultures there are, and there's been a lot of wise people that have come from there, and these healing sciences that they develop, they're just eternally correct. It's not like the new modern stuff that comes out and, oh yeah, put this thing on your head and, oh, now my brain power's increased, all this silly stuff. No, go back to nature and utilize nature and be in alignment with natural health laws, and you're going to be good. So I recommend learning something about Ayurveda. But just what I will say about it, it breaks down your constitution. All physical bodies, everything is made out of the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. For example, most of the people I do consults with, too much air and ether, too mental, too airy, they're just always jumping around, let me try this, okay, that don't, let me try this, they're just moving too much, nervous system spasming all the time. They need grounding foods. You gotta be grounded. They need the opposite of their imbalance. They have too much air and ether, they need earth element. So then you start to get that from your foods. I've talked about that so much already on this channel. You can see the playlist, how to accelerate your spiritual growth or get rid of mental health issues. Just diet stuff, just search diet. So they need grounding foods, the airy ether Vata type. Avocados, coconuts, rice and vegetables, lentils, You can search also what is a good Vata diet. Just Ayurvedic Vata diet, V-A-T-A. And then it tells you, it gives you options. Okay, now the opposite of Vata, the opposite of having too much air and ether, is having too much earth element. And see, Vata people are attracted to those people generally because it's balance. It's like an opposite. I have a friend in Florida, he's like 400 pounds and he just chills. He could sit and watch TV all day long. I've known him for like 33 years. See, I can't do that. So we get along good. I'm like, bro, let's go do something. Let's. And then sometimes when my mind would be too racy, he's like, dude, let's just chill for a second. So it's kind of good balance. So too much earth element, as in his case, that means too much, he's kapha, that's what it's called in Ayurveda. He needs the opposite. He doesn't need more earth element food. He needs the opposite. More like lighter food. Like they can do a raw diet much easier than Vata. They can fast, easier, you see, because they already have a lot of earth element. So a lot of fruits and a lot of, vegetables and light food, which has a lot of air and ether, that helps them. That balances a person that has too much earth element. Whereas somebody that has too much air and ether, it's the opposite. You need more earth element. So you understand the balance there? This will help you. When you're more balanced and grounded, your spiritual growth is going to be easier because you're more balanced and grounded. Spirituality is our nature. Like, you can't, like, you don't learn that like it's something foreign, like, how to be an auto mechanic. That doesn't come with when we're born. We don't have that auto mechanic ability. We have to learn that. Spirituality isn't like that. It's already here. So we just have to get out of the way, have some semblance of balance in our body and emotions and mind, and then the spiritual growth, it's automatic. And then you have a spiritual practice on top of that, and then that accelerates things. You can see my other channel, Spiritual Renaissance, and that's what we're doing here. So we're sharing all these different aspects on how somebody who wants to grow spiritually and realize your nature, what's the best possible way and conducive situation that will make this spiritual practice the most efficient. This is what I'm sharing. This is what all 4 channels are about. I have too many channels. I'm not making any more. All right, so let me know how this video was for you. Leave me any questions you have. I do consults. I have 3 other channels you can check on my YouTube homepage. It has the other channels. I have a channel for girls, a channel for guys, and then I have the main spiritual channel. All right, have a good day.